Good morning. It's hit start all, so I'm on Twitch and Kick now. Sweet. Yesterday I didn't do any writing. I'm pretty disappointed in myself for that, but yeah, I was just out of it. I was depressed. I didn't take my pills, my tryptophan. I don't have enough tryptophan. My brain doesn't produce enough serotonin. Ergo, happiness doesn't really form. Yeah, if you check my Twitch stream, you'll see I was just gaming. I streamed 2 rounds of Warframe, which was okay. And I haven't been doing my evening streams of artwork because I've been using my tablet to produce. And yesterday I did use Krita at my desktop here. I didn't stream it. I should have. What I've been working on, to show that off real quick. Boom. Bookmarks. So I now have my own QR code that people can scan in order to be brought to my Amazon page. This will take you to the paperback, not the digital read, which is a little bit ridiculous. I maybe should have done the digital book, but there's just a tab. You can go from the paperback to that. But yeah, I got my own QR code. Follow the author on Twitch or Kick at Jack Dace or on Substack at Jack Waltz. Not that I'm active enough on Substack. I've been drowning the lonely isle. And the quote, "The sea is giving you to me, and I will keep you as my treasure forever," which is Arista's first line in the book. This is the back of the bookmark. And then, boom, there's the front. And yeah, this is just a drawing of Arista that I did over a couple of days. I'm proud of myself that I got this done as quickly as I did. Again, I kept the colors very basic. I just did 1 layer of gradient color, black ink, the whole thing. I played with her design a little bit. So I used model pose to get the arms, and then a picture of a juvenile tiger shark. That's the inspiration for her stripes. I played around with her design a little bit. The forehead stripes are different than what I actually do on the book. But that's the fun of character design, is how characters evolve and adapt as you draw them over and over and over again. So yeah, the wife said she needed a bookmark. She's been using bits of wrappers and tissue and stuff like that. She wanted her own bookmark. So that was the inspiration. And now this has been produced, so we can start mass producing this, start printing this off. Talking about getting a lamination machine to laminate and then hand these out in order to try and drive sales. And by handout, the wife is even talking about us going to a library and slipping it into some books in the library in their romance section. So, yeah, this is what I've been up to. This is what I've been working on instead of, as much streaming. So I wasn't completely useless yesterday. But took some time off to chill. Yeah. Back to the cover redo. A little worried about Rizzy this morning. His activity level has been just a little bit off this past week. He's been doing this weird thing with his mouth. I already flipped his lights on, and I've been poking at him, trying to get him to come out, but I created his tank in such a way that he's got this a good third of his tank where he can go where I can't even reach him. And it's pretty annoying, and I really want to replace that. But all the supplies that I used to build enclosure elements, I left back at the house. So I don't have those anymore, so I have to totally replace them, and I'm hesitating to do that. 1, because of the cost, and 2, because my lizard might be sick, and I don't know, I'm stressing myself out if something happens to him, especially after putting all that effort in creating a new environmental asset for him. It would really, really bum me out. But I'm thinking that is what I need to do, as well as maybe take him to the vet. Worried about the bill, worried about whether that's even the right thing or if that's just going to stress him out unnecessarily. Found a bunch of my, or not a bunch, I found two of my GameCube games, which are probably some of the more valuable games that I own right now that I can sell, so I'm pretty happy about that. And remember, this morning I was supposed to reach out to some 20-something kid and sell him my Xbox yesterday. So I'm a little bummed out that I forgot to do that, because that's money. That's $75 in my wallet, in my pocket, that I could have had yesterday, and I could use some extra money very, very badly. Yeah. Hi, Lou. Hi, baby. What do you need? What do you need? What's with the cold, wet nose? Do you need to go back outside? Do you need to go potty? You need to rub your forehead? Hi. I am feeling a little better today. Yeah. I was in a mood yesterday. Hi. Do you need to go outside? Do you need to go potty? No, you're licking your chops like you want food and stuff. You have had soft poos. Mama was over here like 2 days ago and gave you so many treats, and you're pooping soft. Do you know that? I came in and wiped your butt today. That's how soft you've been pooping. Yeah. Look away in shame. Yes, and right back to me and beg for something. So what do you need? Sorry. What's up, dog? Do you need to go outside? Do you need to go potty? You're doing this. Outside? Do you need to go potty? No, that's not it. No, you're licking your chops. You want? I'm going to try and figure out what she wants. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to minimize this and bring Twitch back up. Bam. Giggity. Alright. Pop that over here. Bam. Alright. Let's minimize this. Alright. Lulu, what do you need? Now you're just wanting to away? What's going on with you? Hello? Here you go, buddy. Sweet Lulu. Alright. Let's see, trial arc chapters. So this is my macro arc sheet to follow right now. Let's see. Okay, this is the South Rail outline. Again, I didn't do much of an outline for let's minimize that. This is what I did. This document 3 auto recovered. This is what I did for Parables outline, something real quick, just sample chapters. It was a couple days ago when I was having a hard time figuring out what I was writing. So that's what I have to go on. Nothing saved, nothing overly official. And then this one is currently at 2,680 words. Originally, I was going to be going for like 3,000 words per chapter. That was my goal. Now I'm thinking I'm going to be cutting them short and adding more variation to my chapter lengths. And I get to it immediately, and like, there's that voice of distraction in my head. Like, let's do something else. Like, wouldn't just sitting around playing video games feel so much better? And if there's resistance, if there's a desire to do something else, if there's that voice of distraction, this is probably the right thing for me to be doing then. Parable shook his head. No, he looked around the court. The poison has been administered for weeks. zhuzh that up later. final layout, yo. Alright, you have to top off my cup and use the lavatory. Izzy, all your turn. Hey, buddy. We're gonna wake up today? You actually gonna come out? We'll see you. Yeah, we got a show. Hi, buddy. Hi. Hi, dude. You need to make a bowel movement. Yeah, I need you to poop. I need you to poop for me today. easy to. Alright. Okay. Coffee. Forgot to grab my coffee. do. I don't know, fella. So I'm gonna put the red low. Low. Get your pill, Lou. Easy. Easy, dude. Easy, buddy. Let's see. This is really solid, intriguing writing now. The logic of the poison, the shifting suspicion, the emotional reactions are all doing the right work. What you built here is exactly what a mystery court scene should have. Reveal information, create new uncertainties, shift suspicion, tighten the net of suspects. You're doing all four. Point out a few tweaks that can make the scene flow smoother and hit harder without changing your structure. 1. Fix the typo. Small one first. Was with an extra W. Bam. What's up, Alex Ski? How you doing? All fearful and concerned. Overall mystery logic check. Your poison mechanics currently work well. Poison unstable when mixed. Must be added shortly before drinking. Requires proximity. Wine uses delivery. That creates 3 strong suspect categories. Wine delivers Garth. Servants handing cups. Anyone visiting the king privately. Perfect mystery structure. One small suggestion for the next beat. Right now the scene is pointing towards someone close to the king. Next escalation could be someone asking who has access to the king's chamber. That question will instantly make the room uncomfortable because suddenly nobles, family, servants, all are suspects. Final verdict, this scene has graduated from exposition to intrigue. You've got political manipulation, investigative reasoning, emotional stakes, red herrings, tightening suspicion. That's exactly what you want. If you'd like, I can show you one subtle structural trick that would make something reveal later feel inevitable rather than surprising, the kind of clue that makes readers say, oh my god, it was right there the whole time. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of these subtle little tricks that it's suggesting are way too obvious in my opinion. Let's see. Poison right before consumption. Implies someone trusts her close. Access to the king's chamber. Okay. I'm about ready to wrap up this scene. That's where I'm at. I'm at the wrap up. I need something. What else? But yeah, I'm right at the end, and like I was starting to wonder, like, do I need my next section? But this actually gives perfect segue into asking the guards next. But next I was going to do the cupbearer and the chef. Those are my next two to bring in. How do I exit the scene? How do I like, do I just stop it here, or do I need a few more lines or another paragraph? I'm not sure how to end this. What do my notes say? Done with that. This is my original outline for this chapter. Okay. Okay, so this is done. This is the chapter that I'm on. 2 lines of notes. This is the next chapter that I'm working on. Let's be lazy. I need a way to end this chapter. Chromebook Charger 98. Yeah, I think he popped up like 2 days ago at the end of a stream that I was working on. How you doing, man? I'm good. I'm pretty good. Better this morning than I was yesterday. I took a little break off from writing and then getting back into it. Trying to do twice as much today to make up for my slacking yesterday. Just spend all my energy on graphics. In this chapter. Oh yeah, what you got to test in? What are you studying? History. Okay, that's cool. That's a fun subject. What kind of history? What era? What country are you studying? Well, at least there's not new stuff. Hmm. I mean, we might have another one of those soon, but they've been saying that for a while. Let's see. Garrett followed his brother's gaze toward the servants and saw the line of faces all fearful and concerned. He noticed Beery and several others were not amongst them, either busy with their own duties or saved for questioning later. I need to end this chapter. That's what I'm at right now. I'm trying to figure out like my last lines. Or do I just end it right there? That feels abrupt. Like I need a hook. I need that bait. I need something that's gonna be like what are some ideas? Do I just need it here? I feel like a dismissal of the doctor works. Let's see, you're very close to a natural chapter break already. The key question for ending a chapter like this: what emotional state do you want the reader to carry into the next chapter? Right now you're seeing build suspicion, political tension, the realization the poisoner must be close to the king, Garth beginning to panic, servants potentially under suspicion. That's a perfect moment to pivot the tension. Now resolve it. Below are a few ways you get in the chapter depending on the tone you want. The suspicion spreads, ending clean and classic. You end with the realization that everyone is now a suspect. Example direction. Garrett notices the servants and realizes the logic applies to more than them. Garrett follows his brother's gaze towards the servants and saw the line of fearful faces, but the doctor's words echoed louder in his mind. Proximity. The poison had to be administered shortly before the king drank. That meant whoever was responsible had to be near him, near the king. Garrett slowly turned his eyes back to the nobles. Cut chapter. Yeah, I'm kind of perfectly set up for who I'm going to question next. Like, perfectly. The Inquisition has naturally, like, fallen that way, and that's great. No. When a fearful face is staring back, Harold's words would not leave him in required proximity. The poison had to be added shortly before the king drank, which meant whoever was responsible had been standing in the room with them all along. If you want, I can show you a very slick 3-line chapter ending technique used by Sanderson and Abercrombie that makes readers almost compulsively turn the page. It works especially well right with where your scene is. Yeah, show me. Trick is what many modern fantasy writers use, called a snap, turn, hook ending. It's extremely simple but powerful. Snap, the realization or a piece of information lands. Turn, the POV character interprets what it means. Hook, one final line that creates dread, curiosity, or danger. Example, using your scene. Garrett followed his brother's gate towards the servants and saw the line of faces, all fearful and concerned. You notice Miri and several others were not amongst them, either busy with other duties or saved for questioning later. Now apply the structure. Harold's words echoed again in Garrett's mind, required proximity. Garrett understands what that means. Whoever was poisoning the king had to be near him every night. I think that's it. I think that's it. I think that's it. Let's see. Let's try that version. Okay. I think that's right in this. And this is chapter 6, finally. Been taking forever to get to chapter 6. Originally, I thought chapter 6 was going to be my 1/3 point of the story. I'm actually thinking, with how much the story has expanded, this is closer to the middle than it is to be in the 1/3. I've still got so many chapters to go according to my new outline. I've got to finish out the day, so I got another one next, which is Aldrich and Pomeroy questioned. And all these questioning chapters, I'm guessing, are going to get split into 2 chapters. So like this one that I did is going to be 2 chapters, I assume. Like I'm actually going for shorter chapters, which means there's going to be more of them. But this one is done. It took me, I think, 4 days total, especially if you include like the day off I took yesterday, but it's done. Aldrich and Pomeroy are next, and that's Aldrich is perfect. The cupbearer, like we've segued perfectly into him. But then I still have the whole numbering issue. Because like I'm numbering my chapters based on what they originally were, and now they're not those anymore. So I don't even know how to keep the order on this. I'm kind of tempted. I'm really tempted to go back and do an editing pass, I guess. I really don't want to, but go through it and break up my chapters and get them properly numbered so I can keep everything organized properly. But that's not fun, and it doesn't really feel like progress when I know I have to do an editing pass later. As soon as I get this done, like that'll be the first thing that I do is go through and break up the chapters and get things properly labeled and numbered. And then go through and nitpick. But ordinarily a chapter takes me, like one chapter will take me a day in edit, like a whole day in edit, just to make sure that it reads right. And even then there's still mistakes. It's amazing the mistakes that I see in books. Like I was reading a book last night, a romance novel by an Australian author. Maybe that's her whole problem, is being Australian. But just a sentence that made no sense. Like it was, I tried adding a word, trying to figure out like what she was trying to say, but that didn't make any sense. It was just kind of some slop thrown in there. But according to the back of the book, she's got 5 kids, so I understand she's only writing with at least, at most I should say 75% of her brain. If she's at home and she's got 5 kids running around, that would stop anybody from being able to concentrate completely on what they're doing. But still, you'd think the editor would catch it. Not that I use an editor, I use ChatGPT. I rely on that to help me edit and help me process through logic so I don't get stuck contemplating stuff. Let's see, how many chapters do I have left? It's 2 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Fuck. 23. 23 more chapters. I really got to pick up the pace. So my goal is to try and finish another chapter today. Like I'm already past, like I really wanted this book done January. That was my dream. But then that's when it was only going to be 17 chapters in total. And now I've got 23 more, and I don't even know how many I've done so far, but I'm about midway through the book, midway through the story, I'd say. And my road of trials on this hero's journey is an actual trial. And, my biggest issue is I've taken my protagonist, my POV character, and I've literally put him off to the sidelines while the action is taking place. And he just has to sit there and witness his brother, like, parading around the court. He needs more action. He absolutely needs more action. All right. The next chapter is the cup bearer and the chef being questioned, which feels like a natural progression. After this line of questioning, here are my notes so far. I usually do a more fleshed out outline before I start a chapter. Just a habit that I've gotten into. I didn't do that with the first book. The first book, I very sparse notes. Very, very sparse notes. Every once in a while, as I was wandering around doing something, I would pull out my notebook and like write stuff down and then never use it as reference. Now I'm detailing everything, but this is a very different kind of book. This is very, very different than what I typically write or aspire to write. I'm trying to keep this interesting, but the whole like court drama interrogation thing, like it's a lot of inquests, not a lot of actual quests, which is what the third book is going to be. The third book, I'm expanding into the world. I'm getting into the crazy shit that I really got into writing in order to do, but I got to build to it, and this is character building. That's what this entire book is right now. It just feels like me playing around with my capacity to invent characters and then parade them around, and that's why it's so conversational. It's so court, so political, and it's a little bit annoying for me because there's just not enough action. So, currently, I'm bothered about my POV character, my protagonist, being literally on the sidelines as the main action trial / Inquisition is happening. Worried that's not enough. Here are my notes so far. Paste it. There we go. And then it's almost 8, so I think I'm going to take a break. 8 is normally when I get out and walk the dog, and I'm worried about rain starting soon, which it hasn't yet, so I should probably get out. Oh, the sky looks pretty clear though. Hi, cat. Hi. Hello, Mischief. Hi. Yeah. Give me a second. Rizzy, you crawled out of your cave. Dan. Hi, buddy. Don't get too miserable. Let's see. Your instinct is correct. If Garrett just sits and watches multiple interrogations, the scene will start to feel passive. Even if the dialogue is interesting, court scenes work best when the POV character is mentally fighting the narrative, even if they aren't speaking. The good news, you're very close to fixing it. You don't need to change the structure of the trial. You just need to get Garrett a role inside the investigation. The good news, right now, Garth is conducting the trial. Garrett should be solving the mystery in parallel. Yeah, think of it like two layers. Surface layer, Garth's interrogation. Underneath, Garrett analyzing, noticing, doubting. That keeps the reader anchored in Garrett. Yeah. Instead of just watching Aldrich and Pomeroy, Garrett should be noticing body language, remembering earlier details, catching contradictions, predicting where Garth is going. Example moment. Garth asks a question. Before the answer, Garth thinks that was the wrong question, and the answer proves him right. That makes Garrett feel clever, even when he isn't speaking. Give Garrett one small action, one physical action to keep him involved. Example, Garrett whispers to Isolde. Garrett gestures for Parable. Garrett notices a servant slipping away. Garrett studies the wine cups being served. Even a single interruption in the chapter will make him feel active. Example, Garrett leaned toward Parable. Did you test the cups? Now he's participating in the investigation. Let Garrett catch Pomeroy's lie. This would be a perfect use of the POV. Pomeroy lies about Arista, but Garrett notices something subtle. Example, flower on the wrong sleeve, avoiding eye contact, answers too quickly, glancing toward Gregarious too. Example B, Pomeroy spoke confidently, but Garrett noticed something strange. The chef never once looked at the queen, only at Gregarious. Now the reader is solving the mystery with Garrett. Use Galen as Garrett's sounding board. Galen takes talking about mushrooms can become a discovery moment for Garrett. Example, Galen babbles about fungus. Everyone dismisses him, but Garrett realizes that was the same fungus Sothrael mentioned. Now Galen becomes an accidental clue machine. Turn the Swamp Witch into a cliffhanger. That's the perfect chapter endbeat, but you can make it sharper. Then we will ask the one person who understands such things. Garth declared, find the Swamp Witch. Now the reader thinks, is she guilty? Is she another red herring? Is she dangerous? Suggested structure for this chapter. This will keep Garrett active. Opening, Garrett thinking about proximity. Aldrich question, confirms symptoms. Garrett notices timeline clues. Pomeroy question, tries to blame Arista. Garrett senses dishonesty. Galen interruption. Mushroom rambling. Sothrael reacts. Garrett notices connection. Garth seizes on ideas. Swamp fungus, swamp witch. Chapter ending. Order to bring her in. One small trick that makes the court scenes work. Every interrogation should do three things simultaneously. Reveal information, create suspicion, show character. Example with Pomeroy, Arista was near the kitchen. Suspicion, he claims she handled something suspicious. Character, his bigotry toward Yggdra shows he's petty and biased. It makes the dialogue feel alive instead of procedural. Your outline is actually strong. Your notes already contain some good sort of mechanics. Aldrich confirms symptoms. Pomeroy lies. Galen plans mushroom idea. Swamp Witch introduced as a clean investigation escalation. Yeah, and Galen should have been mentioned in this last chapter that I did. That's something I'm going to have to work on the edit. I got notes. I should be writing down. Okay. Yeah, it takes me to about an hour and a half. Snow days ahead. Joy. Alright, clickbait. Alright. I'm gonna take a little breaky poo, put on pants, walk the dog, maybe even take a shower. Ugh. Yeah. So I'm out. Twitch, Kick, peace. YouTube, farewell. I'll be back. That's the plan. I'll be back.